ועלמה פגשו את אבא שלהם לראשונה אחרי 738 ימים קשים, כואבים ומייסרים.
The families of the released Israeli hostages are about to speak rather for the first time.
And little Ronnie was only a year and a half old, and Alma was 6 months old. I have never stopped struggling until Omri would hear the word Abba, Daddy again, and hug them. Yesterday, that ended. It came to a conclusion. I would just like to say this evening for all those watching here in Israel that this would not have happened without you. For all those who went out to the streets, volunteered, supported us, the families. So when you're looking at the films and the photographs today, remember that this moment is yours too. We have got so much to learn and so much to understand about what happened. But Omri heard and saw us. And we gave him the air to breathe, even in the most horrific days when he thought it was the end. And there were many like that. Over the last weeks, the fighting was literally above his head in Gaza. I'm delighted to say that we managed to reach an agreement, because otherwise there could have been a very, very bitter end. So yes, the feelings today that I have, but there are so many I would like to thank, and there are a few specific people. Dani, and as many know, they know this man with the white beard. He was my partner. He was made of iron. At the age of 80, this was enforced upon you, this struggle that no one would ever want to dream that they would have to fight. You never gave up. Even people at a younger age would not have wanted to give up on that, to fight that kind of fight. Thank you. You are so worthy of everything. My family, my sister Michal and my brother Moshe and my parents, thank you for being a rock, really supporting me so strongly, endlessly, tirelessly, and quietly, and with such humility. And looking after the children or running from place to place, even to the White House, in order to open doors for us. I would like to thank the headquarters for the return of hostages and all the volunteers who became our family. Even when there were aspersions cast against us or other issues, you continued supporting us. I would like to thank the officers. If we're talking about Major General Alon, who never gave up, who never felt broken down and stopped what he was doing. He turned it into the mission of his life. For the people of Israel, you do not understand how much we owe him. And the officer, Sigal, who accompanied me, was a ray of light in all this darkness from the first moment that we met. She understood everything, and she was with us in the toughest and worst moments. Thank you to the Ichilov Hospital for the amazing warm welcome and this dedicated treatment that they're giving us. I would like to give my love to Kramim, Shara Negev, and Nachal Oz. Nachal Oz, we experienced the worst of all, but we have risen from all that, and you have always supplied us with such a warm and loving home. Thank you. You're continuing to do so. I am so grateful to the President of the United States and President Trump and Witkoff and Kushner, who opened the doors of the White House at any moment, even when no one was speaking to us. Their determination, your devotion are what brought us to this moment that we wished for. But as I started, first and foremost, my deepest gratitude is to you, the citizens of Israel, and for the IDF combatants and all the security forces. You are the light at the end of the tunnel. You are the light that will make us win. So much has been said, but despite all the burns and the scars, I'm proud to be an Israeli. For our people who never ever abandoned us, who chose this path for us, and you chose not to listen to spins and other things that were spun about us. The combatants and their families, I cannot even express our gratitude for your sacrifice, for your dedication. There are so many. The gratitude for those, of course, and the reservists and all the others who need to continue their rehabilitation now, who were wounded, and those who sacrificed themselves. Of course, my daughters have welcomed their father, and I cannot but mention one of our closest friends who is waiting to receive the actual coffin of their son, and so many who are still in uncertainty. For them, the happiness will never be complete. Their fight is still going on. All the hostage families whose children and families were murdered, especially in captivity. And I must think about Eyal and Sharon Eshel, who will never be able to hug their daughter, Ronnie, once again. It'll always be a bleeding wound. There's nothing that we shouldn't do as a country to help them. And now our path of rehabilitation started. But it has not truly started for everyone as a people, because so many are not here. It cannot start until there is a national inquiry committee and until everyone is home, until the very last hostage, and until we establish and convene that kind of committee of inquiry. It will not suffice. Only then will we create a country that is worthy of our children, and so that Ronnie and Alma will be able to grow up in it proudly. It is 2 whole years that I have not smiled, but it has come back a little bit now. And now I have seen him. It is a wide smile, and I can breathe. A sigh of relief. There's air in my lungs once again. I never slept for a moment. The anxiety never stopped. Because something most wonderful, on the other hand, happened yesterday. Nimrod and all of us together, yes, Nimrod who came back, and he was beside me, safe and protected. It was one of the most moving moments of my life. That expectation, the anticipation, the uncertainty, everything was sort of channeled into one moment with an amazing excitement that one cannot even describe in words. And when we were reunited, we couldn't say anything. We just embraced each other, and we let those tears come down freely and openly. But he came, although so weak, but what a smile that spoke about a new life that hopefully will take place. But don't forget, and don't be confused, that smile is not saying that there's happiness, there's a long path ahead of him, but we will embrace him, and hand in hand we will accompany him on that path full of hope to recovery. I would like to express a vote of gratitude, because thanks to the President Trump, to Steve Witkoff, to Kushner, and all the amazing authorities in the United States who literally turned the world upside down so this would happen, the IDF, regular and reserves, and all their families who have not closed their eyes like me for 2 whole years, and to the headquarters of the hostage as well. Israel, and you ensured that each would come home, and to those ministers in the government who did care and did act. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you to the media who for 2 years who were with us with such determination and sensitivity. They were amazing. Without them, they enabled us to voice what we were feeling and what we wanted. Thank you to the Ichilov Hospital for the way you are accompanying us, and to you, the citizens of Israel, that you never gave up. For 2 whole years, you took to the streets, you fought with us for that mutual guarantee for each other, for the values that we believe in, for this state and this country. The people of Israel, you are a wondrous people. When I told Nimrod, my son, about that fight, he was so happy. Thank you also on his behalf to each and every one of you. And above all, I would like to send an embrace to the parents of the families who gave the greatest sacrifice of all. And I promise you, you will never be alone. They will be heroes forever. They will never, ever be forgotten. But the journey has not ended. The journey will only end when the very last of those hostages will be brought to burial. Our country will never be able to be rehabilitated until they are buried in their homeland. Thank you very, very much. Tonight, after 738 sleepless nights, I managed to fall asleep for the first time. When my son Matan's head was in my arms, even at moments of crisis, I did not doubt that this people would be able to bring all their children home, because a mother never gives up. An entire nation did not give up its citizens. I am breathing a sigh of relief with all the combatants' parents. They know, and all those mothers know, that they are sending their children to fight and to war, but they know that the country will be there for them and back them if anything should ever happen. I would like to salute to the Chief of General Staff and all the soldiers of the IDF and the GSS who have been fighting so bravely. They brought this moment. It is thanks to you and to the armored forces. Yes, not only the armored forces, but the tank command. I thank you. I salute you all. Matan asked for me to give you a personal thank, but asked us to continue fighting so that all should come home. He's learning slowly but surely what a normal routine is. For example, sitting down at a table with a fork and knife. And when I sit and look at my son, I cannot even believe how hard it was for those who didn't. After all, there were those who were always just dependent on the leadership and not on those who didn't want that suffering to be shortened. And they felt that it would be too late. If we feel that it would have been too late had they not continued fighting like that. I would like to thank the President of the United States, who continued fighting tireless to bring them all home. I would also like to thank Miri Edelson, who tirelessly burned the midnight oil to bring them home. I would also like to thank the headquarters of the hostage families for all their volunteers who have been accompanying us on this horrific journey, and Ichilov Hospital and their loyal, devoted team, multidisciplinary team, was accompanying us. And yes, please leave the issue of the hostages day after day in the headlights. Thank you to the media who continued doing that as well. One of the first things that Matan said to me when we met was, Mummy, you know that we were alone that morning, but we fought and killed so many terrorists. He was so proud of the Peretz crew of that tank who fought, Tomer Leibovich, Daniel Peretz, and Itai Chen. He needs time to reunite with their memories, that they deserve to be buried in the country that they fought for. We will not give up until they are all brought home. We learned along the path what it feels to be left behind, and we will not enable any other family to feel that. We will never give up until everyone comes home, until the very last hostage be brought back. Shalom, one and all. My name is Iair Horn. 8 months ago, I came back after 496 horrific days in captivity. So many days of pain and fear and a daily struggle to remain with one's human image. 8 months ago, I came home, but truthfully, only today am I free. Only now, when my brother, my little brother, Eitan, has long last come home too. My heart, our heart, is once again whole. I'm sorry. It's okay. It's impossible to describe in words what I feel. It's like a first breath after 2 years. At long last, one can breathe, embrace, and then smile. First and foremost, I would like to say thank you. Thank you that my little brother has come home in one piece, alive. Thank you to the people of Israel, to all the citizens, the families, to the children, all those who stood at the crossroads and shouted out and held out those signs, and those who wrote us letters endlessly. I felt you, even in the darkness. Your support was our life buoy. That is what saved us. Thank you to the hostage families who became my family. We will ad infinitum remain one family, a family of shared destiny. And thank you to the headquarters of the hostage families and all the team and all those devoted volunteers who worked truly day and night. You became a home in days when the home had been shaken so badly. Thank you to the Ichilov Hospital, who is looking after my family for a second time. Thank you from the bottom of our heart and soul to the IDF and GSS forces. And all those who acted so strongly day and night so that this moment would happen. And ultimately, at the end, I would like to truly thank President Donald Trump sincerely, because thanks to him, I'm alive, and thanks to him, I am here. And at long last, my brother, too. Thank you for your personal involvement, your determination, for the courage to bring about a deal when everything seemed impossible. What you did has saved so many lives. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Today, my heart is at long last not completely whole, but nearly, because there are still hostages who have not been brought back, and there is still uncertainty, and families do not know what is happening, and they are like on a pendulum of hope and then despair until everyone comes home. We will not rest, and we will not stop. Israeli society will not be able to rise from the embers or rehabilitate ourselves and be healed until all those will be brought back for burial. I thank you all with all my heart for the faith, for the strength, for your humanity. That is how we moved from darkness to light. Shalom, one and all. I can see all my friends who have been walking alongside me throughout these 2 years. And anything that we did in the hostage square, they ensured that it would be known. Thank you to all the media that truly accompanied us day and night, every single day, every single night. And in addition to the thanks, I would like to thank the people of Israel more than anything for their ongoing support that was carried out with such love. He came back. My son, Omri, has come back to all the people of Israel. Yesterday, as we were hovering with the helicopter, and I asked them, please, to fly over the hostage square. And when I saw everyone cheering, I asked the pilot, please, to go round. I couldn't but thank all the people for everything they strew upon us, the way they acted with us. And now Yesod HaMa'ala in the north, to all the people in the north, all the inhabitants. It's called Yesod HaMa'ala for everything they did. If we're talking about, as far as they were concerned, they prioritized him above everything. There were pictures of him everywhere, in every corner. Anyone who went anywhere to the center of the country, they brought chests of fruit, and in their way, they were really participating. They brought it to the hostage square and to other people. They were giving fruit that they picked from the trees. Omri, I said that he'll come back, and he did, healthy, in one piece. And he didn't disappoint me. That is how he came home. At the end of these, the evaluation and all the checkups, so with his wife, Lishay, who fought as a lioness, they will decide where they will build their new home when they leave the hospital. But it is incumbent upon us, a moral duty, that we must continue supporting all the hostages' families that have not been brought home to be for burial. It's incumbent upon the state of Israel, the government, to ensure that they be brought. You cannot continue to the next tranche of that agreement until this has been fulfilled. Why? If you have to wait until they all come home, you cannot withdraw. The IDF cannot withdraw until every part of that agreement has been upheld. If it is not upheld, it will be a violation of the agreement, and Israel has the right to renew its battle. Only when the very last has been brought home. Only then can we discuss what to do. It is our duty to continue the struggle until they are all here. Our gratitude is truly for all those in the IDF and in the Special Forces and the General Forces, Security Forces, who did everything possible in order to bring them home. President Trump, for your determination and the way you led everything and brought us to this point in time. Until this very day, all the live hostages have been released. I sincerely hope that you understand the sensitivities that we want those who were murdered to be brought home for a respectable burial too. And I would like to thank more than anything to the headquarters of the hostages, who from the very first moment to really embrace us and create various divisions in it, that they would ensure that everything was dealt with. If we talk about diplomacy, medicine, social services, everything. And I thought from the very first day, if only there was one government ministry that was structured like that headquarters was, from the point of view of the way they managed everything, then our country would have looked in a very, very different way. So I would like to thank them because they established it from the very first moment in an amazing manner. And now, my beloved friends and the citizens of Israel, and especially those volunteers from the headquarters, you truly served us day and night. At the beginning, it was 24/7. I can't even explain in words what service is. I wasn't allowed to take anything off the table or to clean it. They did everything. They were absolutely wondrous. Thank you very, very much for everything.
My deepest, heartfelt gratitude to President Donald Trump. Because of you, I'm alive. Thanks to you, I'm standing here today, and thanks to you, my little brother is finally home. Thank you for never giving up and for having the courage to lead when everything seems impossible. Your strength, your compassion, and your determination saved many lives, including mine and my little brother. I will be deeply grateful for the rest of my life. This deal includes all the hostages, and until the last one is home, none of us can really heal or imagine a better future.
I want to add a special message of gratitude in English. Thank you to President Donald Trump and the entire Trump administration for their relentless efforts to bring Omri and the other hostages home. From the start, you made our cause your mission, stood with the families, and never give up. To Steve Witkoff, the President's Special Envoy for Hostage Affairs, and to Jared Kushner, thank you for your dedication, compassion, and persistence through every stage of this journey. To Secretary of State Marco Rubio, thank you for your conviction and diplomacy, for ensuring that the hostages and their families never left the agenda, and for leading with strength and humanitarian. We are deeply grateful to the Hungarian government, which stood by us through this ordeal, both as an ally and because Omri is a Hungarian citizen. Your care and advocacy made a real difference. After 738 days, Omri is finally home. Ronnie and Alma ran into their father's arm, and he heard them say, Abba, Daddy, again. In that moment, fulfilled the promise I made on October 7, and held something words cannot describe. To the many communities around the world who carried us in their hearts and actions, thank you. And to the New York community where my brother Moshe lives, thank you for your tireless advocacy and love. Hamas must be held accountable for the crimes of October 7th, and so must all who aid or justify them. Only through true justice can we rebuild for the victims, their families, and the future our children deserve. Lastly, I want to mention that there are still 24 hostages held by Hamas, whose families long for foreclosure. They deserve to be honored and given a proper burial. I call on the international community to keep pressure on Hamas. We will not stop our as family until all the remaining 24 hostages are home. Thank you very much.
Okay, we just heard some of the testimony, some of the statements, emotional statements, unsurprisingly, from the families of those released hostages. One, Viki Cohen, the mother of a hostage survivor, saying that she never slept for a moment. The anxiety never stopped. And it comes, of course, in which Hamas has said that they are going to hand over more hostage bodies later on tonight. But emotional scenes there in Tel Aviv from the families of those hostage victims.
תסדר בבקשה, שנייה. רוחב. אתה יכול לעלות? אתם יכולים לעמוד מאחורי. אפשר להתחיל?
כן, כן.
ככה?
לא, רגיל. מתחילים. יאללה, בבקשה.
ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגענו לזמן הזה. ערב טוב לכולם. אני רבקה בוחבוט, ובעלי אלקנה בבית. את המילים האלה חיכיתי להגיד כבר שנתיים, ואני עדיין מתקשה להאמין שזה תוכל. אלקנה שלי בטוב, אבל שום דבר לא פשוט ושום דבר אינו כפי נראה מבחוץ. במהלך החודשים האחרונים, אלקנה לא קיבל אוכל. כפי שהיה נראה בסרטונים ששוחררו. הוא עבר התעללות וסבל. סבל גדול, ולקראת השחרור הוא קיבל אוכל בכמות גדולה כדי שיראה קצת יותר טוב עבור העולם. וזה כנגד הבקשות של ישראל והארגונים הבינלאומיים. בגלל זה אלקנה סובל מכאבי בטן. הוא נפוח. אבל אני בטוחה שהאיש הגיבור שלי יכול לחזור לאט לאט למצב הבריאותי.
My hero will be able to rehabilitate himself, and he himself will bring.
אתמול היה היום המרגש בחיי.
Was the most moving moment of my life, even more than Elkana, my wedding day, even more than the day little Em was born. Yesterday I saw my husband and Re'em being born again. Their embrace, even though he could barely lift up our baby, he really, and our baby, our son, really received his father back. I couldn't have asked for more as a mother or a wife. And now it is our time to really heal our family. Re'em has become a little man over the last 2 years, and he understands and knows what it means to live without his father and to wait for him. We need to rebuild our family cell, and it moves me so much that at long last we can be rehabilitated. So many good people in the people of Israel helped us reach this moment when Elkana can start his life again. I would like to thank every single person who supported and did, all those who made sure that the hostage issue would be in the headlines. Without your prayers and requests, we wouldn't have got him back. Without the headquarters of the hostages, the GSS, the IDF, those brave soldiers, it wouldn't have happened without you all. And of course, we wouldn't have received him back without President Trump, Stephen Witkoff, and the entire administration that did everything possible to bring him home. We would like to thank each and every one of you. Elkana saw you all in the streets from there, and he loved those posters. He listened, and you saw the prayers. And it helped everyone who was there. They saw and felt for a moment that they were not forgotten ever. Thank you all. You succeeded in truly saving him, but you also saved me and little Re'em. And on a personal note, I won. It was my personal victory. I managed to do it. My husband is here. And despite my difficulties with language, and I know that I can't speak well, I never gave up for one moment. I never gave up living and love. I never surrendered. And that, for me, is a personal, enormous victory. One should never, ever give up hope for better days. Please, I am asking you to remind you all that this has not ended. We cannot stop that clock in the hostage square, and you cannot take off that little yellow pin, that brooch, because there are still those who have to come back for burial. All of them must be brought back. In addition to that hostage, we do not know what his fate is. They must all come home. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Avi Ohana, the father of Yosef Chaim, and I would like to start with a prayer. Blessed be the fact that we have come back, and at this time we are here. We are here, moved, yes, with tears on our cheeks, but we are blessing everyone, and we never stopped hoping for it throughout these 2 really difficult years. Yosef Chaim's return after such a painful period is truly a paragon of the God in the heavens, of faith and of solidarity that is totally incomparable to anything. I would like to thank God Almighty, who was with us throughout, who held the hope in our hearts even when we believed that we had lost hope. Thank you to the people of Israel, every Jew in Israel and in the world who prayed and embraced, supported, encouraged, and who sent us those reinforcements. And thank you to the IDF and their courageous fighters, their daring and their courage. And thank you to the spiritual leadership who helped us throughout, the Rabbi David Abu Chatzera, Rabbi Shalom Charush, for strengthening their belief and their hope, and the prayers that strengthened us time and time again. Thank you to the 3 officers, those angels, truly the angels in green, who throughout this period accompanied us for 2 whole years, Erez, Limor, and Tal. They never left us for one moment. And with a painful heart, we are bowing our heads and are extending our deep condolences for those who lost their dearly beloved during this war. Only one enormous embrace from us and a prayer that God will send them strength and compassion and consolation. And we would like to send a prayer of speedy recovery to all those who were wounded in their hearts and in their bodies and in their souls. And we would like to send that speedy wishes for speedy recovery to all of them. And thank you also to the brave decisions made by our leadership, our government, that brought about the return of our children. We are praying that God in the heavens will bring peace to the state of Israel. May this be the moment when redemption comes, that we should know peace and true unity, and that only love should reign here in Israel. So, with the help of God, they will be rehabilitated swiftly. And for those who were killed, may consolation be sent to them, and may the people of Israel really be able to thrive. Thank you. Good evening. My name is Maccabit. I'm a very proud auntie of Gali and Ziv Berman. They are home. They came back to our private picture of victory, where they are embraced by Talia, their mother, the heroine. They came back to life after they'd been separated, and they were beaten so horrifically, and they were separated for the first time in their lives. But yesterday we started breathing in clean air. The fear, the yearning, in one moment became happiness, endless happiness that we didn't even know existed. Even in the most elated happiness, we do not forget, though, for any moment, all the victims of the 7th of October, the hundreds of heroic soldiers who lost their lives in that battle, and all those who were wounded, and all those killed by Hamas. And we thank you and we beg you to bring home Iluz, Doshi, all of them, that they will be brought home for burial. We will continue struggling and fighting endlessly, relentlessly, until the very last one is brought home. Gali and Ziv have been brought back to us, walking, smiling, and from this moment on, the path to recovery will begin that we have wished for. A deep sense of gratitude for the state of Israel, all those in uniform, all the negotiators, and President Trump and his team. Gali and Zivi are now being embraced by their mothers. She will never stop hugging them. Our picture of victory for our family is the return of all the 24 hostages for burial. Only then will we be healed and rehabilitated. We need that closure for the entire people of Israel and for the people of Israel that never tired, never gave up. And all our dearly beloved relatives, each and every one of you, you are definitely on the right side of history. And yes, but we must continue this mission until the last hostage is home. We would like to express our gratitude to the hostage headquarters that became a home for all those volunteers, the 101 shift, as it was called, that embraced us and were with us, and to the President of Israel, who was an anchor for our family, and all the officers from the administration, the hostage administration led by Gal Hirsch and Kfar Aza and Beit Govrin, and our wonderful people who fell in love with Gali and Ziv without even knowing them. And thank you to the Sheba Hospital and their amazing multidisciplinary team. And thank you to the media that ensured that everyone would hear about Gali and Ziv. Now a long personal rehabilitation process starts. Please respect our privacy and enable Zivi and Gali that space, and for us as well, the family.
For the first time in 2 years, our family can finally breathe. Gali and Ziv are home. They are safe, alive, and back in the arms of our mother, who never stopped believing this day would come. For 738 days, our lives were trapped between hope and fear. Yesterday, that chapter ended. Seeing Gali and Ziv again, holding them after so long, was like feeling the world start to move again. None of this would have been possible without the leadership and determination of President Trump. For months, he pushed forward when others hesitated, proving that courage and conviction can change history. We are deeply grateful to President Trump, to Steve Witkoff, and to the American administration that stood with us and made this miracle possible. You give me my brothers back. I would like to thank the people of Israel who stood by us for 2 long years. But even in this moment of joy, we cannot forget those still waiting, families who are still living the nightmare, soldiers who gave everything to make this day possible, and the 24 hostages who have not yet come home. Gali and Ziv are home. Now we must bring everyone back. That is the only way this story can truly end. Thank you so much.
Good evening. I'm Miri Ben Ami. I'm the mother of Yosef Chai Ohana. She's saying the most sacred prayer that we have arrived back at this time. Thank you, God Almighty, and the Rabbi Nachman Breslev, and God Almighty for everything that he has done and enabled me to pray. Thank you to all the rabbis, and he's mentioning the names of all those just people. Thank you to the soldiers and the forces. Thank you to the Prime Minister, Bibi Netanyahu. Thank you to President Trump and to the headquarters of the hostages and the officers and the people of Israel who have supported. When my son was in captivity, I created a belief project, which is called Yosef Chaim Miriam, that distributes belief and prayers based on Rabbi Nachman Breslev's prayers. There is a little kiosk actually in the hostage square. The project was established thanks to my son, and all for the sake of the hostages and the people of Israel. I've decided to continue with this project in order to, as a vote of gratitude for what he did and brought our children home. Please go into that site and please God that everyone will be brought home. Thank you.